This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Friday, December 10th, 2021, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. A balmy 78 degrees. I'm your host, Cameron Strang. And joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Austin, Texas, author, speaker, podcaster, Jamie Ivey.
Hey, guys.
And sitting in, we're very sad, Derek Miner will not be joining us on today's show. He has very important things to do that are more important than this show. Joining us, Relevant Senior Editor, Tyler Huckabee. Hey, man.
Howdy.
What happened there?
We're just letting it hang out there for a little bit.
Pause?
There was like a 4-second delay.
No, I said howdy right away. What are you talking about? I think it's tech.
No, you did not.
No,
you didn't say howdy right away.
No, I like it that Tyler's already playing this like subliminal game with the listener. Like, what I'm about to say is important, so just wait right there.
Wait for it. Like we were all hanging. We were like
people. It didn't sound. I think it was a dilemma, but I like the idea that maybe from now on I just kind of give it a beat, make them think like they're like, did I miss it? Is the stream cutting out on me a little bit? And then I just come through with the howdy.
You're the correspondent from like Belgrade, where it's like the satellite phone, where it's like there's the delay.
Well, it's funny. I started watching that like Beatles, doc that's on Disney Plus,
yeah.
And
because you're in your 60s now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I had zero interest in this because I'm not a Beatle.
It's a pretty interesting.
Yeah, but then everyone started talking about it, and all the memes started going around, and I listened to a podcast about it. So I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot, even though I'm just not a Beatles fan. But all that to say is like Ringo Bear, like. It's like, I don't even know if the guy speaks during like the whole time he's just sitting there, but he gives very Tyler vibes where he sits back just slightly when people tell him like, Ringo, make a beat for this one. And they like do a little number. There's a delay.
Hold on, who was that? Who was that you just...
That was an off-camera producer. There's a lot of like Spinal Tap figures just wandering around in the background of this documentary, and you're not sure what their role are. Like there's one guy who seems to be brought into this whole film just to strike a metal anvil with a hammer in one song, like a cowbell, and he just wanders around for the entire 2-week duration of the documentary. But anyway, all I have to say is Tyler gives very Ringo vibes with his posture and just sort of that suspended delay. Is like, is Ringo okay? Is Tyler all right? That's Tyler.
Okay. Is that my vibe? Is everybody always wondering if I'm like, because I agree, I've watched this and I'm really enjoying this, but Ringo Starr is the nap king of the rock and roll scene, because Paul McCartney and John Lennon will be arguing about a song up front, and George is kind of the moody guy off to the side, like he's on his own creative plane, and Ringo's he's taking a little trip to the doze zone. He's on slumber. He's just you guys wake me up when you get this hashed out, and I'll play the drums, and I love it. I greatly admire it.
Question, not as a non-Beatle fan and having not watched the documentary, is he sleepy all the time because of substances in his body, do you think?
Ironically, they establish in the first scene of the film that Ringo is clean. Like, unless I'm misinterpreting that. Now, the other members of the group, John Lennon seems like he could be at a phase in his life where he was experimenting with various substances, but he basically invented the Jim look at the camera before Jim Halpert. Like, half the documentary is bickering between like Paul McCartney and various people wandering through this studio, and meek little John Lennon with his like hipster hair just looking at the camera just like Jim Halpert, like directly at the viewer that he knows is going to be watching this 60 years from now and just going like, this is awkward, isn't it, guys? Like, that is a huge portion of the film.
Think about that though. Like, okay, so now we document everything, but like 60 years ago, it was a major investment to buy film and to like have a crew, and like, why? I mean, I don't know, the hubris. Why would they think that they're behind the scenes?
Idea. They got approached by NBC. It's like, hey, and the construct of it is like, even if you're not a Beatles fan, I will say this: if you're someone who's just a fan of the creative process and collaboration, this is
creative process, yes, collaboration, no.
Okay, but that's what makes this so interesting is because they basically took the greatest songwriters, no matter what you think about, your personal feelings about the music, they are arguably some of the most important songwriters who ever lived, and they're incredible, genius level musicians. And so, but they put them in this warehouse and you learn this in the first 5 seconds of the film. They put them in a warehouse. This happened in 1967. The Beatles were put into this warehouse, this soundstage, and told in 2 weeks from now, you have to, in the next 2 weeks, you have to write, record, and perform 14 brand new songs. Go. And we're going to film it and make it a TV special. So the TV special ended up this 1 hour little documentary primetime film. But Peter Jackson got 168 hours of footage over this 2 week period and used all his Lord of the Rings magic to bring it back to like 2020 standards. And you get this 8-hour look at what the most genius songwriters in the world working together to make an album in 2 weeks. It reminded me kind of Kanye, honestly. Like it's the same vibe as what he did with his last album on Instagram, essentially.
So there was a movie that came out a long time ago, and now they got new footage.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
The rest of the footage, because they're pretty long. And I don't know if you thought of this, Jesse, but one thing I've been thinking about a lot watching it is we hear a lot about the coming, meta media viewing experience where we're wearing the headset and you can look around and you're in the movie itself. And this feels as close to that as you can get without actually having a headset on. You really feel like you're watching a creative process. You're there in the studio while sometimes it's kind of boring. Sometimes it's tense, tempers flare, egos are colliding. And then sometimes something kind of amazing happens. They're like, oh, wow, this is a really good song. And then we get Let It Be out of that. And I was surprised
is that
at
what
how
happened?
much.
Like it was iconic music actually came out of this.
It is unbelievable. Honestly, you see
it's
the song
magical.
Get Back. The song Get Back, Get Back, Get Back. Like that song, Paul McCartney pulls out of thin air. Like in the course of about 45 seconds. And you see the other band just kind of wandering around, grab the instruments and starts playing. Can remember that time years ago, we were at that Future Islands concert and the power went out and the lead singer just started singing a cappella and the drummer started playing because he didn't need power. And then the bass amp came on. Imagine experiencing that like live music geniuses sinking into these weird magical pockets on and off for 2 weeks. That's what this movie is.
The thing that's crazy to me is, again, having not watched it, don't care about the Beatles. 2 weeks, 14 days, or they need 14 songs, you said, to write it, record it, and perform them. That's a song a day from nothing to performance. That's crazy. Why? It's like, that's like such an arbitrary pressure cooker.
Well, John Lennon says because they were going through like kind of this time where they were kind of dabbling in substances. Everyone's they're fighting. They might break up. And they're talking about the tremendous pressure. And John Lennon says to Paul McCartney at one point, I always do my best work when my back is against the wall. So let's do this.
Hey, I always, in my life professionally, like I'm a procrastinator. And then at that last surge, that
deadline,
that 11th hour, focus. And I just like, why couldn't I have harnessed this? Early in the process.
And you get the impression of creative people need it. They need that pressure. They need absurd deadlines. They need the odds stacked against them. And that's why it's so fascinating, whether you care about the Beatles or not. It's like, wow, there's elements that I feel like of this film everyone can relate to that's engaged in a creative process.
It's interesting. My husband used to host this thing called 7 and 7, and it would be for creatives.
Isn't that a whiskey?
Mainly. I don't know, but maybe you could have 7 and 7. That's a drink. You would get like Seagram 7 with 7-Up, So he would host 7 and 7, and it was he mainly focused on songwriters, but it was to write a new song and get a demo, so just on your phone, whatever, for 7 days. And then we would have this gathering at our house where people would perform one of them. It was really cool to see artists like really commit every single day. And some of these people had full-time jobs. They didn't just get to sit around in a warehouse for 7 days. But it forced them to use that creative muscle of, I have to write and complete and record a song today.
I am not a worship leader, but that's interesting. You said that about your husband, who is, and because that's what Maverick City Music does. That Maverick City Music was literally just songwriter sessions. They would come together in the round with nothing, create together, and then boom, there's magic. There's an album, and then you hear that so many, especially worship artists, do that. They'll go and they'll do songwriting together and stuff. It's such a weird thing to me as a non-musician to think like I'm going to schedule an appointment to show up with no ideas with people that I've not worked with. And we are going to create something that then, if it's good, will be sung for the rest of my life. You know, like what an interesting pressure to like walk into.
And that's like what makes this one. It's like, okay, what if we put the best to ever do it in that room? And it's like, all right, I'm in. I'll watch, see what happens, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. All right. Well, today's show is brought to you by Disney Plus. Subscribe now.
Also, Sweet Home Alone. Huge disappointment, guys. Huge. Watch that with the kids on Disney Plus. That all the good, like, capital Disney Plus had built for me for this unexpected thing that I ended up really have enjoyed. Sweet Home Alone is terrible. Okay. Like, did you guys watch it yet?
This sounds like a mixture of
I watched the original Home Alone last weekend with my kid, though.
Okay. The thing is, this one exists in like the extended McAllister universe. Like in this universe, like Home Alone, at least Home Alone 1 and 2 with Kevin McAllister happened. Okay. We know that because
so Macaulay Culkin is in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Like the McAllister family from the first film is grown up in this world and kind of has some weird adjacencies that are kind of, the plot is so convoluted. It's like figuring out the plot of Knives Out at the end of it. You're like, wait, what? There's a doll? Like, but anyway, despite the convoluted plot, like they tried to do a thing where, and I'm not giving anything away because it's pretty evident from the trailer.
Hey, nobody cares.
I don't think anyone cares.
The robbers. Okay.
Tell us.
The great thing about the robbers in the original Home Alone is like they were like comically evil, right? Like you wanted to see them get hurt because like they're doing like aquatic vandalism at every stop. Like I don't know if any of you guys had a house flood before. Yeah, I mean it's basically total loss. Yeah, exactly. They are jerks and they deserve what's coming to them. In this film, it's like this sad, it's like Rob Delaney, the comedian, this sad sap kind of suburban, husband and dad who has been out of work for quite some time and, trying to make it up to his like very patient wife. And they kind of scheme to get something back from a home that they think was stolen from them. And they are the victims of the Home Alone first violence. I could accept because it was like Tom and Jerry. This is like, oh my gosh, Ellie Kemper may never walk right again. Like that's horrific. Like I left like, this isn't funny. Like she might be permanently maimed from that. Like it's not enjoyable for me.
All right. Well, that's also on Disney Plus, I guess. Yeah. My kids, I'm surprised. He's at that age where I thought he would start disconnecting. Like he's too cool for Christmas stuff, but he's talked to me about, he's like really into Christmas stuff. And I think it's almost like, he's like grasping on to the last moments of his childhood and he wants to just like do Christmas. Oh, wow. So like we're watching Christmas movies every night. Saturday, we're doing a Christmas movie marathon. We're going to go like, it's just, I'm loving this. This is great. So we're debating like our best favorite Christmas movies of all time. And, we have very different lists. His is Home Alone. His is, The Santa Claus 2, he says, is the best Christmas movie of all time.
That's a hot take.
Yeah. That's a hot take. I'm like, mine's Elf. Right. What's y'all's? Mine's Elf. Maybe National Lampoon's, but Elf is probably number one. I watched it last night.
We love Elf.
Yeah,
we
Elf
go see it every Christmas Day. We go to Christmas Day to see it at
that's
Alamo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's a cool tradition.
But I'm a sucker for that Muppet Christmas Carol movie with Michael Caine. I think that's a great movie. It's a ball.
That's a good one. All right.
We're even though my kids are probably too young for it, we watch We've already watched Christmas Vacation as a family twice.
Of course, they're too young for it. That scene is scandalous.
A couple of parts or what?
No, I mean they watch both of my children who.
What do they think is going on at the glove counter with
Listen. I was raised in a household where
we know
you can watch whatever. My 6-year-old has basically binge watched The Office already, so it's just I've just accepted.
I don't let my kid. I literally look through the episode list to find ones where there isn't heavy sexual innuendo in it. It's very rare to have an appropriate Office episode.
Look,
just FYI.
I try to mute when I can. Okay, I try to jump up and mute when I can, but they've again it happens.
The thing about sexual innuendos when you're 6 though, you don't get it. It's like
exactly.
I watched Grease when I was little, like I knew all the words, and then I got older and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible movie for like a 7-year-old to be watching.
I was the same with Two Live Crew. In high school, I had no idea what they were talking about. Yeah. And then now,
I know.
That was bad. That was raunchy. Who knew? I'm kidding. Two Live Crew is a scandalous rap group from the early 90s.
I really didn't know though. Like that's what I remember of those. Like whatever slipped through my parents were pretty careful about what we watched when I was a little kid. But whatever slipped through the filter truly did not make an impression on me. It just was not. It wasn't until way later that I was like, oh yeah, now I know what that was about. But it didn't, I don't think, set me on a path for deviancy because
after you got married, you're like, oh
yeah. When my wife finally explained it all.
Oh, when Liz took you to your first R-rated movie after on your honeymoon,
Jack was drawing what?
We have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we have actress Alexandra Shipp and actor Robin De Jesus. They are both in the new film Tick, Tick, Boom. They join us. Also, we have your feedback at the end of the show. You don't want to miss that. It's a great one. And hey, before we toss to the next segment, I want to remind everybody that right now at relevantstore.com, we have our big annual print edition of Relevant available for pre-sale. Pre-sale is almost over. It's going to ship pretty soon. So take advantage of it. For pre-sale, it's 20% off right now. You can get our annual print edition. It's this big, beautiful, premium coffee table experience of all the long-form content of Relevant throughout the year. So go check it out, relevantstore.com. Okay, right now, stay tuned. Up next, it's Relevant News.
It's a marshmallow world in the winter when the snow comes to cover the ground. It's the time for play. It's a whipped cream day. I'll wait for it all year round. Those marshmallow clouds being friendly in the arms of the evergreen tree.
You're listening to The Lone Bellow. The song is Marshmallow World. Fun fact about this song, it is on one of our brand new Christmas Spotify playlists that we put together. For years and years, we always did a very relevant Christmas album. And since now we're in the streaming era, we are doing a very relevant Christmas playlist. We have 4 of them for your various Christmas moods. We've got a very relevant Christmas hip-hop, very relevant Christmas party mix, unplugged mix, and indie mix. And I think that track kicks off our party mix. Go check it out. You can just search for Relevant Christmas on Spotify. You'll find them there. And yeah, subscribe to all 3 of them. We keep adding songs each week as more artists are releasing new Christmas tracks. So yeah, check that out. Or a little gift to you guys. Okay. Well, today's show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Now, no matter who you are, your mental health has a serious impact on your life. It affects your work, your family, finances, your dating life, and even your relationship with God. So taking care of your mental health is a huge part of living the best life you can. But too often we put off therapy as something that's only for people facing serious issues, or we wait until we're facing a real crisis before we reach out for help. The truth is, therapy isn't a worst case scenario, and getting set up with a good therapist now will ensure that you have the resources to deal when life's emergencies do come up. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really about. And right now, Relevant Podcast listeners get a special deal. You can sign up for BetterHelp and get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/relevant. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/relevant. Okay, it's time for
Relevant News.
Well, since Tyler's on the show today, joining us from East Texas, Relevant's Associate Editor, Downtown Emily Brown. Hey, Downtown.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on this week?
Well, one of these days I'm going to get on and just get to talk about celebrity pop culture.
Right.
But unfortunately, there's my love language. Yes. But unfortunately, there's actual real things going on in the world. So we'll have to hold the Kardashian update for some other time. There's actually a really interesting release that just came out from Bible Gateway, which is an online biblical database. And they research a lot of things, but one of the things they look into is the year's most searched terms and verses from the Bible. And a lot of times this doesn't change from year to year. Words like love or John 3:16 always what people are looking up. But every now and then, depending on where we are in pop culture, certain things pop up more. And this year, the word sorcery was the most searched term.
The most?
The most searched Bible term.
I think I know. I think I know why. Yeah.
Oh, why do you think, Jesse?
I think, well, from what I have seen, and I could be told I haven't seen this study, but I've seen people reference the word sorcery because, like in the Greek or Hebrew or the original language of the Book of Revelation, some people believe that the root word of it is the same word that we take the root of vaccine from, and they're trying to link. They're trying to link
Jesse's
the
on the money.
They're trying to link the concept of vaccines and the warnings about how sorcery will usher in the end times. They're basically, gaslighting gullible.
What did they think about the polio epidemic? Were they talking about the end times?
They've had their whole life.
Come on.
Ask the Apostle John, Jamie, when he was on the island of Patmos dictating
they all
this.
Have been vaccinated.
Yeah. Jesse is exactly right. Sorcery or witchcraft has been gaining a little bit of momentum. There's a lot of shows that have mentioned it, but the big reason is because a lot of just conspiracy theorists are trying to connect this, trying to change the meaning of a Greek word that's been the same for thousands of years to mean vaccine in modern medicine when that is not what it means at all.
Specifically the new vaccine.
Specifically the COVID vaccine. That's what the Greeks were talking about. And so it's just it's so interesting how a lot of times I think, we think of or conspiracy theories in general, we think of them kind of on the fringe, but the fact that this was the fastest growing search term shows that there are a lot of people that are looking into this and that are hearing these theories and these rumors. And it's just something that we as Christians need to be aware of so that we can speak truth into it and say, this is not what that means. And this is not
but
Paul
do we
meant.
know that? Do we know
Well, Danny Goki was tweeting about it.
Danny Goki?
Yes.
Danny Goki was tweeting. Yeah, he was
like about it as in I'm for this or like this is crazy.
He was I believe, if I remember correctly, and Emily, you can correct me on this. If I remember correctly, a governor, I can't remember which one, the governor of a state was talking about the importance of getting vaccinated. And Danny Goki responded in the tweet with a verse about sorcery. And, then goes into the Greek root word, which means it's like pharmakeia or something that sounds kind of like pharmacy, which is where
somebody saw pharma in the Greek.
Right.
Yeah.
Modern medicine.
But here's the thing, guys. Listen, if there's one thing I've learned about theological insights, it's there are two reliable sources. One are former American Idol contestants turned Christian music stars. Two, they have nothing else to gain from this, clearly. Two are people who have the self-imposed professional title of prophet and probably have a business card that says prophet so-and-so, here's my business card. Because we know that's what the prophets of the Old Testament probably did. Those seem to be the type of people who are pushing this, like, and I'm not throwing shade on Danny Goki. I don't know anything about his character.
You can shade him. That's okay.
But he doesn't seem, it doesn't seem like, it's not like N.T. Wright here, doing exegesis on the original Latin of some obscure, biblical reference. And, a lot of the other people that seem to be advocating this are people who, raise money because of their prophetic abilities that in the last, 6 years have not always been accurate. So careful where you're getting theology from, I think that's a pretty obvious observation, but that's who seems to be perpetuating this.
Obvious to some, not obvious to everyone. So
Danny Goki. Sorcery. No idea. Pharma. That's it. It's the pharma connection.
It's the big pharma.
Jamie, the look of disdain in your face, I feel like I'm looking around the cubes right now and I see mostly bemusement, if I had to read expressions, except for Jamie, which is just
it's because
disdain.
you besmirched the good name of Danny Goki, and that is the sacred name in the Ivy household.
No, but
I don't even know Danny Goki.
Jamie voted every day for Danny Goki.
she was texting Ryan Seacrest personally. Yeah,
she used up all of her minutes and all of her texts that month to get Danny Goki the win.
But Jamie's real talk. Like all of us were kind of clowning, but you seem to have genuine sort of disdain for this type of theological.
Well, I do
leap.
get very, very frustrated when people try to grab at something theological, like you said, and try to grab and make it fit whatever they're feeling. And also, you look back at the year and I'm like, all these people who are so angry about the COVID vaccine. Yet I only want to hear from someone if they've been angry about every vaccine that's ever come along. Like, I'll listen to you if you've never taken a vaccine. Like, you can speak to me. But if you've taken all of them and then this one, it's frustrating. I mean, I was listening to a podcast the other day and I can't remember his name, but he's Dr. Fauci's boss. Okay. So he's way up there. And he was talking about how he was so upset with Christians about the vaccine. What?
He just said God, like Fauci's boss.
God. I was talking to God the other day. No, and he said that he's a believer, and he's like, Christians, you are so upset because they'll say we don't trust this vaccine because it's too fast. And he's like, it's fast because we've been working our butt off to get this vaccine so that we can save people's lives. And so it's frustrating to me when I hear people pick about theological terms that they made up to try to go against the argument that is dumb, because you got, I'm guaranteed you got the chickenpox vaccine before you go to 5th grade. I mean, it just makes me mad.
Or before you go overseas to do missionary work.
Yes.
For crying out loud.
Yes.
Yeah. Every time I've gone on international, faith work,
you definitely got
I've had to get like a whole 6 or 7 different shots. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's part of keeping people safe.
And the thing is, like, it's just such a bad look to like be like, I went to an event this week I don't need to get to the details, something for an organization my kids are involved with. It's a Christian organization. It was held at a big church. And we got there and there was no, and there was almost, we're crammed in this area in single file line. Almost no one there is wearing masks, and, I asked one of the people working there, I said, hey, listen, is there any kind of requirements for the people who are working with the children of masks or vaccines or anything? Because I go to a lot of stuff and people genuinely are pretty cautious, especially if they're working for an organization or representing a business or representing something to at least make the people on the other end, comfortable, whether that's with mask or some sort of notification about vaccine status. They're putting the needs of other people in front of their own sort of preferences. And the person just looked at me, he's like, we leave that up to people's choice here. And it was like this level of disdain. It's like the church feels pretty unsafe. Like, I get kind of anxiety when there's events at like churches and stuff, because I know they're going to be completely dismissive. A lot of them are going to be completely dismissive of those concerns compared to every secular institution who seems to be taking it seriously for the benefit of the community.
Yeah. Well, all that to say, Danny Gokey
Witchcraft
has been rigging the results at BibleGateway.com.
There's a fun little PS to this story, which is that I was writing up some of the report here, and I was like, I wonder, the word witchcraft here, is this something that witches would consider to be like, would they link vaccines to their own spiritual practice? So I just shot like into the ether on Twitter, like, hey, do I know any witches out here? And
is that why you tweeted that? I was wondering why you tweeted that.
And a couple very kind.
One night Tyler just said, do I know any witches?
Yeah,
I'm like,
I saw he said, where are my witches at? And
witches at?
I was like, Tyler, that's odd. That's odd.
I was just curious, and a couple reached out very kindly. I appreciate that, and we spoke a little bit about it. And I was just curious, and I won't get into all of the nuances and details that we got into, but the answer is no. I don't think that that this is considered, the witch community did not consider vaccinations to be linked at all to their practice either. So I would say that the conspiracy theorists pushing this are pretty much on their own in this interpretation, no matter how you slice it.
I don't know. One of the things that I read on the internet, Anthony Fauci, closet warlock. Is
that right?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. Was that who you were talking to, Jamie?
Yeah.
The head warlock of his coven or something?
Listen, I consulted a Ouija board and it definitively said no, take the vaccine. So you guys, you tell me.
You know what?
You tell me.
If you can break down the pilot episode of Bewitched, and if you look at the timestamps every Thursday, it spells out COVID. It's
weird.
Wake up, people. Yeah. Wake up, sheep.
They're always doing that stuff in Hollywood.
Is she twitching her nose like 19 times for COVID-19?
Yeah. 19. Yep. That's 19 twitches. Yeah.
Pretty scary.
All right. That'll do it for relevant news. We're covering a lot over the site, not just witch
fake witchcraft.
Yeah, witch Bible verses. Check it out. MakeRelevantMagazine.com, part of your daily web viewing, and follow us on all the socials for the latest. Thanks, Downtown.
See y'all.
All right, stay tuned. Up next, Alexandra Shipp and Robin De Jesus. Join us.
Black Jesus, Black Santa Claus, all black everything, holla at your dog. Black Santa Claus coming to town. Black Santa Claus coming to town. Yeah, Black Santa Claus coming to town. Black Santa Claus coming to town. Hey,
Hey, ladies, I know you didn't think Santa Claus was gonna have all the fun. Hair did, nails did, what we talking about?
You're listening to Bishop Frederick Barr and Derek Minor. The song is Black Santa. And yeah, I'm playing it because Derek's not on the show today, but man, I love that track. It's a great song. It is a great song. And a little fun fact, right at the beginning of the song, Derek's son makes an appearance too. So that is on the Very Relevant Christmas Hip Hop playlist over on Spotify. Go check it out. Well, today's show is also brought to you by UHSM. Are you tired of the rising costs of healthcare? We are, which is why we're excited to tell you about UHSM. Unite Health Share Ministries, or UHSM, is a Christian health sharing ministry that will put your health first. Health sharing is not insurance. The programs at UHSM are member-based fellowships where faithful people can take charge of their own health care. UHSM offers different programs to meet any and all of your needs. They also offer telehealth options so you can access health care at the touch of a button. For more information, head over to uhsm.org or contact a representative at 1-800-900-8476. Again, that's uhsm.org for more info or contact a rep at 800-900-8476. Well, our guests today are Alexandra Shipp and Robin De Jesus. Alexandra is an actress who you'll recognize from films like Straight Outta Compton, X-Men Apocalypse, and Love, Simon. Robin has performed on and off Broadway in musicals like Wicked, Aladdin, and In the Heights. And now you can see them together in the new Netflix musical drama, Tick, Tick, Boom. We sat down with them to talk about living life in the arts and the difficulty of being a creative person during difficult times. Here's Alexandra Shipp and Robin De Jesus.
This is the life of Bo 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 Bo. This is the life of Bo 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 Bo. This is the life of Bo 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 Bohemia. Showers in the kitchen, there might be some soap. Dishes in the sink, brush your teeth if you can cope. Toilets in the closet, you better hope there's a light bulb in there.
Not today.
Revolving door roommates, prick up your ears. 14 people in just
First off,
4
congratulations.
years.
What a movie. I told everybody else I'm not a big musical guy, but this one really worked on me. I thought it was just excellent. So congratulations on making a believer out of me. And I was curious to get your thoughts on this. I think one of the themes here is how you hold on to the love of creative energy and of being an artist, even when there's a lot of pressure on you and when it's not just not going very well. And as two people who are in a creative industry and are artists yourselves, I'm wondering if that's something that you've personally experienced and how you've faced that in your own life and your own careers.
Ooh, you saw me. You felt me because I was feeling something. You know, for me, the thing that comes up, and you've heard me talk about this before, I was having these mini panic attacks during the early stages of the film. And that had been something that I had been experiencing for a while of my creativity being in conflict with my ego and like my addiction to perfection and wanting everything to look and be a certain way. And when it didn't, how I would sort of lose myself in the moment and like not know how to act. I felt like I didn't know how to tell the truth, you know? And I've been working on that. There's therapy, there's spiritual work, all that stuff. But there was one specific day where I was really not doing well. And I felt a bit of a panic attack coming on and something happened that pulled me out of it. And part of it was in relationship to like Lynn and the joy that he brings and the presence that he brings and the reminders that like we came to play, we came to have a good time.
Is this real life? Is this real life? Is this real life? Is this real?
There's a very specific thing that happened that made me go, oh my God, I'm creating drama. Like how fortunate am I that I'm number 2 on the call sheet with Andrew Garfield, with you, Lin-Manuel's directing it, Stephen Levinson has written this gorgeous role that most other people wouldn't give me a role this meaty, you know? And so now I'm here as the son of parents who never got to finish high school, who are factory workers and domestics. And in one generation, look at how much can happen. Wow. Why would I choose to focus and create drama?
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you all felt that you mentioned panic attacks, but even just generally that sense of fear that like, I'm running out of time. Like, am I making the most of my life right now? How do you face that? And did you find anything in this movie as you were working on it that really helped you or inspired you to overcome some of those fears that I think everybody feels sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, everybody feels them. I felt them multiple times in my life. You know, as actors, we're independent contractors. And when there are highs, they're real high. And when they're lows, they're real low. I mean, the entertainment industry is clinically diagnosed bipolar. and we have to find our footing, you know. And what's beautiful about this movie and Jonathan Larson's body of work is that he speaks really truthfully about that.
Cages or wings, which do you prefer? Ask the birds. Fear or love, baby, don't say the answer. Actions speak louder than what does it take to wake up a generation? How can you make
what it's like to be an artist.
It's been a long week.
Well, I was going to say a starving artist, and then like it turned into an arvist, which sounds about right. We're starvists. Artists are starvists. We are not only hungry for work, we're hungry for inspiration. We're hungry for our passion, you know, and not everyone has to be an artist to be a starvist. You know what I mean? We starve for the things that fill us up, that make us happy. And as long as we're doing some semblance of that, even if it is Jonathan rolling around with his keyboard, you know what I mean? Even still, like that's still a hunger, and that hunger keeps us going.
they're singing happy birthday? You just wish you could run away. Who cares about a birthday but 3090? Hey, can you be optimistic? You're no longer the ingenue. Turn 30, 1990.
That was Alexandra Shipp and Robin DeJesus. Make sure to check out Tick Tick Boom. It is streaming on Netflix now. It's great. Okay, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback.
It was a last Christmas. We stayed in the house. We covered our nose and covered our mouth. But it's Christmas time. We'll be in line for a booster. It was a last Christmas. We up in a Zoom. I can only get Wi-Fi in the laundry room. But it's Christmas time. We'll be in line for a booster.
You're listening to, this is no lie, Jimmy Fallon, Ariana Grande, and Megan Thee Stallion. It's a song they released this week. I think it was a joke, but man, the music video is legit. They released it as a single. It's called It Was a ... parentheses, Masked Christmas. It was a masked Christmas. Oh man. It's that one, I believe, appears on the A Very Relevant Christmas party mix. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week on the show, how did this get prompted?
I know. I wanted
You said
recognition
something.
for tackling the subway system of New York City.
That's right. You were very proud of tackling the subway system like a local, like a pro.
Yeah.
And nobody was there to give you your flowers. And it got us thinking, we all have that thing, the little thing like, man, I'm really good at this, or I did a good job at that. Why won't anybody acknowledge it, give my flowers? So we asked you all, what's something you think you deserve recognition for, but nobody will give it to you? You hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast and wherever we posted the question. Here are some of our favorite replies.
I like Samantha's here. I'm really good at reading to kids. It doesn't sound like much, but I think I'm particularly good at this. The reason this stuck out is because I am too, because I can see where the story's going and if it's going to be lame, and I'll just do a little twist. And you know what? They're kids. They don't know I'm just making it up and turning pages from here.
You do? See, I would read little kids, and I'm like really good at all the voices and stuff, and I enjoy. And I'm like, man, I'm really good. I'm good. I'm bringing this thing to life. You just change the story if you don't you don't think it's compelling enough.
It's like, okay, let me guess. The puppy's going to make a friend and find his way home. Okay, you know it would be much more cool if he slipped through a portal and got, was in a fight with a warlock in a fantasy world. That seems like a cool story. That's not a real snore.
Katie Hobby said this: I am really good at picking the correct size Tupperware for leftover food storage. Like there'll be some leftover soup, and when I pour it in the plastic container, it'll be near the top, maybe just high enough to barely touch the lid when it's closed. And listen, that is a craft because I am not good at this. I have to try one out, and then I got to wash that one and try another one. So kudos to you, Katie. Congrats.
Erica Lynn here said she and this is sincere. I'm absolutely killing it on the whole teaching 5th grade thing. It's been a hard year in schools. That's an understatement. But my kids were so engaged with our lesson on moon phases, they didn't want the class to end. And hey, shout out. We got a few things from teachers this year who were talking about how hard it's been and that they deserve recognition for it. And you absolutely do. Unprecedented year in teaching, and you hit it out of the park. Anybody who made it through deserves recognition in my book.
D. Teague wins. She in my book. She said she doesn't get recognition for it, but she deserves it. Listening to the Relevant podcast for more than 10 years. Thank you.
Congrats.
Yes.
I love it.
Couldn't be me.
I like Sarah Tames Bears. Her skill is accurately guessing people's favorite ice cream.
What's the name?
Sarah? Or no. What?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, Sarah's Tames. And then, but it's not like a lion tamer, right? Like that's not how that's spelled. It looks like her name, but then Bears. So I don't know if she has one of these unique names that's a complete sentence. I always like those. The you know what I mean? Like
I see it. Sarah's Tames Bears.
Yeah. Sarah. Okay. Sarah's Tames Bears. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, it could be a complete sentence, which good for that. Could be a children's story right there. Sarah Tames Bears. I would read that. Now that seems like one I could pick up, and I could tell. I'd be like, this could go a lot of directions tonight, kids. So it's about a lion tamer, a bear tamer. Like I don't even know if there are people who tame bears professionally. Right? Either way, that's neither here nor there.
Okay, that's not her name though. I looked her up, so she must tame bears.
Okay, but what are you taming them for? Like a lion tamer is a thing, right? But is a bear tamer?
Not anymore. They've shut that down on Ringling. They're not doing animal acts as part of Ringling.
I bet she's a mom and she calls her
industry
kids her bears. Maybe
still cooking.
I don't know. Okay, what'd she say?
I think she should be the subject of a new Netflix documentary series about
Bear Queen. Bear Queen.
I like it.
Bear Queen.
Sarah Bear Queen.
Either way, Sarah Exotic here. Anyway, she says that she can accurately guess people's favorite ice cream flavor within minutes of meeting them. Okay, I have a couple thoughts about this. Like, if that's true, then I'm very impressed. But if it's some sort of power of suggestion, Penn and Teller mind freak type of thing, where it's like, Jamie, if I just think of a really good ice cream flavor that's pretty unassailable, let's say cookies and cream, because I feel like that might not be, anyone might not say that's my favorite, but once they start thinking about cookies and cream, they're like, that's probably my favorite. Like, Jamie,
I just did the same thing. I just went, yeah, I really like cookies and cream. Sure.
See, she does. I wonder if she's got some trick like that going, like planting the seed and then like, I bet it's cookies and cream. I don't know. I got to see the trick for myself, Sarah Tames Bears.
Maybe that's how she tames the bears. She gives them subliminal suggestions.
Yeah,
like you want to sit down, bear.
Mm-hmm.
You want
She's very
to.
talented.
Yeah.
We got to bring her on. I got a lot of questions for her.
If this is true, if she's like brainwashing bears, I think this is literal witchcraft here. I think did she answer your question, Tyler? Was it Sarah? Is Sarah the witch? Is Sarah the witch that responded?
So what if she builds up this bear army of She can control wild beasts.
And she can convince us all what our favorite ice cream flavor is. Those are
Yeah.
two very powerful.
Maybe she's feeding the ice cream
She's
to the
sedating
bears.
the human race, just be sitting there eating, pounding our ice creams as the bear army takes over. Jesse, there's your children's story.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's a
thinking
scary
too,
one.
if she's that good at subliminal stuff, is she teaching those bear arms to bear arms?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we're done.
Yeah. All right.
All I want is ice cream right now.
I want to hear. I want to hear more, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah. Our next question of the week is just Sarah. Can you just call us?
Here's the
we have
deal:
a lot of
if
questions.
Sarah can send a message and tell all of our favorite ice creams, she listens to the podcast. She's
Yeah.
met us.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to be the real deal.
She can,
Well, that's
she
the
can
question. I
come
wonder
on.
if she has to do it like she
In
has like
person.
some questions she has to
Sure.
ask.
That's what I'm
through,
saying.
and-
Like, it would be like doing a magic trick over Zoom. It's like, okay, if you can do it, if you can read my mind over Zoom, I'm pretty impressed, you know? But if I'm like Cameron and I had a mind reading thing at like a dinner table and I was very impressed. But in my mind, I'm like, he's just really good at some sort of weird sleight of hand thing. If you could do it over Zoom, I'd be very, very impressed.
If she could come on the podcast and she could name each of our favorite ice cream flavors, then I'm willing to. I would vote for her for president. Because that
Clark,
would
on
be
next,
amazing.
can you make this happen for next Tuesday's show? Let's get Sarah on to see if she can A, tame our bears, and B, guess our favorite ice cream flavors.
And we need to write our favorite
And we have to
flavor
write them down beforehand.
First,
We have to
yeah,
write them
Yeah,
down.
yeah, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. David
All right.
Blaine. This needs David Blaine street magic level integrity here with the setup, Clark. Understood.
Understood. Got it.
Yes. And then, of course, our assignment is this week we need to go out and sample as many flavors as possible
Oh,
to
yes.
That's
be
true.
Yeah,
sure
that's a good
about which
idea.
one's our favorite.
Yep.
But let's say that let's make one caveat here. We can't go to some artisan place then and have like guacamole spice.
This
it's
is
gotta
a
be something
grocery store.
standard.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 There you go.
It would be available in any place that sells ice cream.
Yeah.
It's one of those flavors.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it. Okay. Well, there's a lot more where that came from. Go check it out. And if you want to follow Sarah, it's Sares, SARES _tames _bears on, what is that? What was that?
Instagram.
Instagram. There you go. She's on Instagram. And her feed, crazy. Just a whole lot of bears and ice cream photos. I don't know. And bears eating ice cream. It's a whole thing.
She's marching down the middle of the street with bears following her behind.
Yes. Yes. Or maybe chasing her? No.
Marching
Marching
taming
with her
them.
because she's tamed them.
They are
Yes. Fascinating Instagram feed. All right. It's time for this week's
Editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right. Well, earlier in the show, here's the thing about the question of the week. We sometimes there's softballs, right? If we're talking about best Christmas movies, you guys are probably thinking the whole show, they're going to ask us lame what our favorite Christmas movie is. Well, guess what? We're not lame like that. We're not going to ask you that. We don't care about your favorite Christmas movie. Well, we do because we care about you, but we're not going to ask you that. We're not going to ask you your favorite ice cream flavor. We're not going to ask you what animals you can tame easily. We're not doing any of that stuff. Earlier in the show, we got talking about innuendo and how Jesse just recklessly lets his children watch The Office with no filters.
Listen,
no filters.
It's not. You say I'm letting them. They log. I don't know where they're watching it. They figured out how to use. They're better at operating all these subscription apps than I
They've
am.
logged into Peacock. They made their own Peacock
For
profile.
all I know, they're both caught up on Succession. I don't know. Okay.
So it got us thinking about things that we watched or enjoyed as children, and then as adults later realized, oh my, I did not realize that's what watermelon sugar meant. I thought it was a nice summer treat. It is not just a nice summer treat, it turns out, as an adult. Okay, we want to know the thing that you enjoyed as a kid that as an adult you learned meant something totally different and you just did not get the innuendo. Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast. And if you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, when you see us post the question, reply there as well. And we will read our favorites on next week's show. It's going to be a little too hot for TV. Nice way. It'd be December 17th. We're in the height of the Christmas feelings.
Advent.
Need a little
The heart of
spice.
Advent.
Spice it up.
Perfect timing. All right.
Christmas spirits with your Christmas spirit. Yeah.
Before we wrap up the show today, I want to mention a few things. Head over to relevantstore.com to check out our latest merch. We're releasing new apparel, podcast fan gear, all this stuff every Friday. Don't miss it. Some great stuff. We're running some good Christmas sales right now. You can also sign up for our annual print edition. It's available on pre-order for a very limited time. You can save 20% on our big, thick, beautiful annual print edition. Go check it out. RelevantStore.com. Also, head over to RelevantMagazine.com, and right there on the front page, you can sign up for our new daily newsletter. It's the top 5 stories every weekday morning. It's a great way to keep in touch. We put out so much stuff on social media, and so many articles are coming out. Who knows what the algorithm's showing you? The cream of the crop, the best of the best every day. Sign up for the Relevant Daily Newsletter. Send it right to your inbox. Also, do make sure to follow us on all the socials. There's a lot going on throughout the day. You don't want to miss a thing, and we're having a lot of fun. Oh, and if you like the show, I mentioned this last week as well. If you like the show, you're a longtime listener, tell people. Help us out. Wherever you listen to the Relevant Podcast, go over there, rate us, and leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Helps the algorithm, helps more people discover us. Plus, we love seeing your feedback. So head over there and tell us what you think about the show. All right. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Jamie Ivey.
And I'm Tyler Huckabee.
I like that little pause you had there, Tyler. It's good suspense.
I got a brain.
Nice there, Ringo.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Ringo, make a beat for this one.
Relevant Podcast Network.